Now we're going to see how old you are. But I am old enough to remember all of these stages I'm about to show you. And trust me, they are completely and spookily accurate. What if you had bought property, real estate, in 1982 and then sold that property again in 1990? If you're not old enough to remember, I'll tell you the years between 82 and 1990 were very kind to real estate, culminating in a big boom in property prices in that year of 1990. So that was obviously a great time to sell it in 1990. And then you bought property again in 1998 and sold it again in 2006. Now that year, 2006, should be in most people's memories, I would hope, from watching this. And if not, that was the peak of real estate prices right before the 2008 financial crisis, which hurt real estate very badly. So once again, we can see here that buying in 98, after you sold it, that is, in 1990, you could have bought it in 1998 and then sold it in 2006. That also would have been a great profit. Are you starting to see here that most people say, well, just buy real estate and hold on to it forever? And they're not wrong, but if you're not careful, there is a cycle going on here that you might be starting to see where if your timing is off, then you can absolutely get burned. As Mark Twain said, buy land, they aren't making any more of it. And he's right, but he's also wrong, as you're starting to see. This is an example of conventional wisdom that has some truth in it, but if you're following it blindly, could hurt you. And then you bought property again in 2014. Definitely in memory now. As I'm speaking here, it's 2022, summer of 2022, and real estate prices are booming. And a lot of people are looking back to perhaps a year like 2014 and think, wow, I wish I would have bought it then. And then sold that property again in 2022. As I say, remains to be seen what happens next, but prices are certainly an all-time high, and it's crazy out there. So can you see the pattern? There's the point. There's obviously a buy and sell revelation here, where you're not just blindly going into property at any old time, but there's also a pattern here if you look closely. Can you see what it is? There's a gap of 8 years between these buy and sells. And it is spooky, but it's there, and you can trace this thing back as long as you want, but you'll run out of memory at some point. Now, 8 years, interestingly enough, is 2 times 4, and 4 is a number of completion. It represents completion of a cycle. We see this in nature, the lunar cycle, just to name one, the seasons, even the menstrual cycle. Things are in cycles of 4, and this is a 2 times 4, 2 cycles, which is what you're seeing here. So, where you're buying real estate is important. It doesn't matter how good you are, how good the deal is. In some cases it might, but look at the timing here when it comes to buying and selling real estate.